Okay. So welcome to the webinar concerning the doing business in Italy. First of all, I want to say thank you to Andrew, Justine, and all the staff at TGS for this opportunity. I hope you enjoy the presentation. And for all the participants, I hope that we can give you a sort of curiosity and desire to discover something more about our country. So I don't want to waste your time. So let's keep up with the order of the day. We start with a presentation of the companies. We are two companies involved in this project, 𝐬𝐽𝐳 and Athena Law. We move on this business, basically with an overview about Italy, with some key issues that we consider the other points of Italian economy, and also some numbers to understand that we are currently in a good economic trend, after the dramatic period due to the COVID-19. Then we move to the Budget Law 2021. This is the main course of this webinar. And we treat research and development, the sustainability, with a very interesting case study regarding the acceleration of financial plans for the construction of panel solars in southern Italy. And then we talk about visa for foreigners. It is always a very top trend for everyone. And then we have a spot for questions and curiosities. But as said before by Justine, if anyone wants to interrupt the presentation or make a question, we are glad and willing to respond as better as we can. So I'm Simone, and I'm in charge of 𝐬𝐽𝐳, a company registered in the Ministry of Economy and Finance in Italy, specialized in audit, as you presumed by the name, but also in accounting, corporate, and financial consultancy. We currently have two sites, one in Milan and one in Bergamo, the north of Italy. And as the main services, we provide audit of financial statement, due diligence, appraisal reports, financial plans, separation, certification activities, but also business evaluation and account investigation, voluntary audit, compliance models, corporate turnaround, all the services related to the financial issues. Our main goal as a company is to bring our values like quality, sustainability, and human relationship to our clients in order to believe, we strongly believe that we can create a long-lasting business relationship based on respect and mutual trust. So now I want to hand over to Alberto that with brief words can explain his company, Athena Law. So Alberto, if you want to join this.
Thank you. I introduce you Athena, said in Italian, Athena in English, and we are a company, multidisciplinary, and we take care of everything that concerns companies. So what we like to say is that when a company meets Athena, it should be a single point of reference for the main services that normally a company may need doing business. And so what we provide are legal services, tax advices, company law advices, bookkeeping and payroll. And as you can see in the Simone's slide, we are based in Turin, northwest of Italy. And me too, I don't want to bore you too much because we have a lot to say. So you can find on our website more information you can, want, but more or less that is what we do. We serve companies, also natural persons, but our focus is on companies.
So, okay, so we can officially start with the doing business. So officially welcome to the doing business in Italy. So we really decided to make this webinar because we think that it's currently a good moment to make investment and first in Italy. So before moving to the corporate incentives and tax credits for investors, I want to give you a sort of overview about Italy. So if you want more details, you can check it out our handbook that you can find on our website on 𝐬𝐽𝐳, or contact us or the network or Alberto whenever you want to check more information. So Italy is characterized by many valuable things, both for living here, but also for doing business in the country. We are in one of the top world economy and market, 8th largest in the world, 3rd in the Eurozone. We are a strategic logistic hub because we represent the gateway for European market, thanks to the central position of Italy in Europe and its efficient logistic and intermodal system. But also we have a crucial role also in an international way because we are involved in many projects. One of the most important is the Silk Road, that's called Belt and Road Initiative, that can improve the connection between Europe and Asia, and in addition to lead, I think, many improvements in terms of quality of railways, ports, and infrastructure in Italy. We are a key player in manufacturing and export. We have a unique know-how in machinery, automation, fashion and design, and food. We have excellent R&D, and I'll talk to you later a bit more about the tax credit, especially with Giovanni, that's our expert on that. We have a skilled and competitive workforce. We are facing a good moment for the education because we are improving the quality of education provided by universities, school, and private institutions that provide education. So this is really important because we can provide students and personnel already qualified for any kind of sector, both in the national market, but also in Europe and internationally. We have an incomparable offer and country brand. We are recognized by UNESCO that the world leading country in terms of art, culture, history, and science, and basically speaking, quality of life. And most of all, in terms of business, we have a strong set of policies, incentives, tax credits, incentive for foreign investors, but generally speaking, a movement looking for collaboration and investor that can bring efficiency, attractiveness, and move Italy in a step forward. So now I can show you some numbers about the current situation here in Italy. As I said before, we have one of the top world economy. We have a GDP around $1.9 trillion. We have an inflation around 0.7. That is a very good number because last year we faced a negative inflation, but this means that we are a good economic trend. We are growing in a balanced and a controlled way where people restart to work, the people gain and consume. So there is an increase of the demand, there is an increase of the production, thanks basically to the increase of the money in the economy. And this is thanks also to the technological process that has been developed by the government into the expansion monetary policy adopted, as I said before, by the government last year. We have an overall credit position of 3.1 billion toward foreign countries, and we have export and import around $600-700 billion. But here we can see the first key point of doing business in Italy. Because if you can see the differences between the goods that we tend to import and the goods we tend to export, there is a massive difference. We tend to export mechanical machinery, clothing, footwear, foodstuff, luxury goods. So Italian products, and generally speaking, the Made in Italy brand is characterized by worldwide reputation, high quality standards. I don't know, if you think like, I don't know, the clothing sector, we have many valuable fashion designers, you know, like Giorgio Armani, Gucci, Versace, or like in automotive, like we have the Ferrari that has the ability to link a single color to a car. So if you think in a car and if say you red, you immediately think to a Ferrari. And this is unique all over the world. It's not be copied by anyone else. And this is the way Italian make his product: unique, care of details, innovation, and the ability to last over time. But at the same time, from the other point of view, you say that we tend to import fewer raw materials, transport equipment, engineering equipment, also natural gas, petroleum, accessories, or chemical products for agriculture and industry. Because basically we are a resource poor country. We have a sort of lack of resources. We cannot be comparable like, I don't know, many Asian countries. I mean, China, Korea, or Australia, New Zealand, also South American countries, I don't know, Colombia, Chile, Peru. So we need that kind of resources, but there is a sort of complementarity of what we need and what we can provide, that, so especially in terms of quality, reputation, and the way we raise up your brand. So that create massive possibilities of investments and possibility to international collaboration that could lead into positive advantages and benefits from each other. So these are very key points of doing business in Italy. So now I go to the main course of this webinar, the Budget Law 2021. This law has been published on the official gazette of 30 December 2020, with the aim to boost the national economic recovery, reduce the economic inequality in the population, increase the sustainability, and improve the healthcare and medical institution, both in terms of structures, but also in terms of medical research, in order to reduce the likelihood of future unexpected events, like, I don't know, like pandemic we are still facing, even in a smoother way than the last year. Here you can see the three main arguments of this webinar: the research and development, the Italian sustainable development, and the visa for foreigners. So now I want to turn it over to Mr. Giovanni Lorato, that is one of the partners of Lens Audit, that he can give you some insight related to all the stuff related to R&D.
Okay. Can you hear me? Hello, I'm Giovanni Lorato. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm going to give you a brief summary of the initiatives the Minister of the Economy they are promoting to boost the economy and to, in some way, change the industrial structure of our industries, promoting the ecological and the digitalization, the ecological transition and the digital innovation of our country. The budget law completely changed the structure of the bonuses focused in research and development bonuses, and all the goods and training for the industry 4.0. So first of all, the structure of the bonuses in research and development has been extended also of some activities about design, creating new products, creating new ideas in process as well in specific sectors. And the percentage of the tax credit, because that's the way of giving the bonuses, is a tax credit. The percentage of tax credit in research and development, and also the way of getting the bonuses has been changed. Now we have to send a specific communication to get to obtain the benefit of the tax credit with a model and instruction that are in process to be defined special. So the tax credit is divided in three strands. There are the tax credit about the basic research. So basic research is all the work, theoretical work, undertaken to acquire knowledge and about the facts, about the phenomena, about all the observable facts without any application or use in view in your company. So that's the basic research, and we will see later which kind of eligible expenses are admitted to get the tax credit. But what is important now, I'm going to say which kind of area or sectors are impacted by that. So the basic research is all the experimental and the theoretical work, and the bonuses is 12% of the eligible expenses, and the limit is 3 million euro. Last year was different, was 20%, and that's one part of the change. Then we have another trend of tax credit in research and development which include two kinds of typology. The first is what is related to the applied research. The applied research is the original, the investigation and the research undertaken in order to acquire new knowledge directed primarily toward a specific practical aim or objective. And that includes, of course, the realization of products and also production process, also improvement of your processes. And if you are able to show that in your paper, you get the 6% of the eligible expenses, and the limit is €1.5 million. There are another part of this sector, this trend of innovation, and it's all the activities related to the digital innovation and the transition to digital and to the ecological transition. When talking of that, the incentive is more interesting because it's 10% of the eligible expenses, and the limit is €1.5 million as well. And we are talking of all the goods and all the training of all the activities focused on ecological or digital transition. We are talking of advanced manufacturing solution or augmented reality is one of the sector. But also, when we are talking of horizontal or vertical integration, so, I mean, all the integration when using IT systems to connect the different business units of different companies in the group, that's part of the eligible expenses as well. Cybersecurity, of course, big data, analytics, all the activities to have a big database and produce new information. It's also part of the area subject to the benefits. So those are the second sector, the applied research, as I said, divided in production, new process or improved process, and all the activities for improving the digital transition processes or the ecological transition. And I gave you some example of that. There are also a third part, which is the experimental development. When the experimental development is a systematic work, I mean, drawing on knowledge gained from research, implementing in the practice, and producing the additional knowledge through the research you had developed in your company, or you have also bought from third parties, when it's directed to producing new products or improving new process, including all the activity of design of new sample or new products, is also part of the tax credit for research and development. That's important, especially in the textile business, fashion for sure, when you're creating new sample, new design, new drawings, new texture, and but also for the shoes and glasses, gold, and designing furniture, ceramics, and there are a few others sector which has been part of this tax credit because it's part of our industrial structures. So those are the three main areas, as I mean, the basic research, the applied research, and when all the new products and process you can implement it through the research. The tax credit is different for the three strands, but the eligible expenses are mainly all the costs directly related to this initiative. So the personnel cost in R&D and the consultancies that are being focused on ERD, all the expenses you can have by using specific part of a specific company of research and development of other institutions like universities and also consultants as well. They are focused on these activities of again improving processes, designing new products and processes, and basic research. And then also as part of the eligible expenses are the depreciation charge and all the expenditure you had sustained for sample, for creating the first sample of your process. I mean, that's just to give you the idea of the sectors, the technological activities, the ecological transition and the digital innovation divided by basic research, applied research, and all the activities related to the idea, the creation of new processes and products. Then there are different percentage for different strengths, and of course the process is that you have to conserve the technical report, and then you have to assess through an audit companies the numbers you have sustained, the cost of your sustains, and the request for the tax credit. That to give you just a brief summary. I think it's okay, but we are of course willing to give you any kind of information more specifically for your business or for your interest.
So thank you, Giovanni, for this overview. So we can continue with another very good, interesting argument. So this is the sustainability. Here you can see the Italian sustainable development. So basically a set of incentives and political measuring to make more green the country, basically. We have three top incentives: the super bonus 110%, a series of eco bonus, and a Green New Deal. So the first one at the top of the slide is an incentive measure to make more efficient houses and buildings. It works like that everyone can obtain a 100% of discount of the cost directly in the invoice. And at the same time, the company will provide the service, we will obtain a tax credit equal to 110%. This creates a sort of circular economy that each player involved in this project can gain from this. The citizen can get in the house, enhance the real estate assets, improving the efficiency of the buildings, bringing into it like more sustainable and innovative equipments. The company, of course, can increase its volume of works, increase its revenue, it can hire more people, and the state, it helps from an economic growth of the country, sustaining the occupation and increasing the revenue. Here you can see also a series of eco bonus that basically go between the 50% and 65% for intervention, for improving of energy efficiency, for replacement of obsolete equipment to new ones, or for innovation and recovery of building stock. And at the bottom slide, you can see the Green New Deal, that is basically a European project designed from European Commission, but redesigned and readopt for Italian needs by the Italian government. Is basically a fund of 4 million that focus on decarbonization, emission reduction, energy saving, environmental sustainability, and limitation of climate change risk. So now let's move on, probably in the most interesting part, a case study that is related to the acceleration of financial plans regarding the constitution of photovoltaic panels in different regions in south of Italy. Here you can see a map of Europe and all they are located. We have Metsca, where its quarter is in London, UK. We have Urbasolar that actually is being acquired by Export Platform for PV Group, where its quarter is in Montpellier in France. And then we have Sun Electric, that is an Italian company located in the south in Bari. Actually, the legal office is in Milan, but all the productive and administration offices are in the south. So basically, these are three clients, our clients that we work for, that decided to put his trust on Lance Audit to develop these projects. So basically, when we work on this project, there are three different main steps. The first one is, of course, from the clients. They're looking for improvement policies. So every manager and every entrepreneur is looking for to do the best for his company, try to reduce the cost, can increase the sales, looking for new partners or make financial adjustments. And some of them decide to also to invest in sustainability. It's not easy because it's an investment make risk, but at the same time, in medium long term especially, can gain great benefit, financially speaking, but also in terms of improvement of the environment. This means that the entrepreneurs have to be resourcefulness is a critical value for every kind of manager. And of course, entrepreneurial vision is the base of to be entrepreneur. The second step, coming to join the game, the Lance Audit in this case, so the audit firm that basically provide two main service. The audit that basically is related to check the business plan, to check the budget, check all the data, include the plan, the information regarding the people that are involved in the project, but also we control, of course, the anti-money laundering. So basically all the data and the numbers of the project designed by the manager of the company. But also we provide a series of services, the consultancy, that are really, really good to improve and get the project as fit as the best as possible. So we can search expert on the target territory, we can consult statistical software for the solar exposure, we can design potential development of the project, we can make financial adjustment, search potential commercial partners. So a series of services to improve the project. Of course, it's critical the teamwork inside the company or the staff that is designed to work for, but also in the dynamics of the exchange of information between the client and the audit firm. Of course, excellent is the target that we work for. The third step is the most operative step. We can see 4 words: sustainability, reputation, quality, and effectiveness, that could be seen from different point of view. Of course, from the target territory point of view, because we create a sort of sustainable things on that spot, we increase the reputation of that spot, we work on quality, and of course is effective because we improve the environment of that spot. But at the same time, we increase the sustainability, the reputation, the quality, and also the financial things about the company, of course, from the clients, but of course also from the audit firms that put his contribution on this project, and in turn also the network, because we are part of the network and we looking for the motto of the network. So things global sustainability, we work on that project, trying to gain money, of course, because it's critical for every kind of business, but try to put a small step to make the world better. And this is really important. And of course, it can lead also some advantages for the other firms that join the network, because we see that there are real projects, real examples in this network that are really looking for a better world in the future in terms of environment. So basically, if we start from the entrepreneurial vision, because of course everything starts from the manager, and we work with teamwork based on our skills, our competencies, and our experience, and we're looking for the quality and the improvement of the environment. This is the way we perform this project. So now we can see some pictures of the project where we work for. Some projects are in progress, some projects are already done, but we're evaluating some possible future things, some possible future developments of this project. You can see in Puglia region, Sicily regions, so this project. But now the question is, the main question could be 2. The first one is, we are located in the north of Italy, and you can ask me why we invest in the south of Italy. Basically because the days are quite longer in the south and the solar exposure is quite better. So the solar panel can gain more sun than in the north. So why did we decide to invest in the south? The second what's next, what is the future of this project. So we take two examples that we already work with them, Meczka and Sun Electric, that decide to follow two different lines, two different projects. Meczka decide to invest in hydrogen plants at zero impact, namely 100% green. You know, when we invest in photovoltaic panels, there are two stages that are not green, basically the construction of the panel and the dismission of the panel. With hydrogen, we have zero impact because without any kind of consumption and the use of natural resources, we avoid the emission of gas and other harmful urban substances. So namely is 100% green from the beginning to the end. From London, from the managers that we work for, they strongly think they have taken a strong position of that. They think that hydrogen will be the energy that will characterize a new energy area. It will largely replace the use of petroleum, which is destined to vanish. So strong position from London that are investing in this kind of investments. On the other side, we have Sun Electric, the Italian economy, that decide to take another way. They decide to focus on agrivoltaic sector, namely the combination of the use of agriculture and the use of photovoltaic panels. Basically, the construction of solar panels are over the lands. So this is optimization of the territory and the needs of the agricultures. We are already working on with them for the building of solar panels over a hazelnut cultivation lands, even in the south of Italy, in Puglia region. And from Milan, they say that this is a way that can bring benefits for each other. It's a win-to-win business because it can purchase land at sustainable cost, it reduce the maintenance expenses, mitigate climate risk, and limit the impact and deteriorate. So very massive advantages for everyone that joined this project. So I hope this presentation was good. I hope you enjoy my brief overview about Italy. If you want to know more, don't hesitate to contact me, to contact on our website. And now I want to pass the word to Alberto that will explain you an insight about the visa for foreigners, and maybe see you later for some question or curiosities.
Okay, thank you, Simone. We are going to talk about visa, and you can think about a natural person that would like to move to Italy, but you can also think as we can say a businessman that would like to send some of his employees to work in Italy as a choice or because it's necessary. So we focused on all kind of visas that there are nowadays in Italy, but of course the focus will be on the ones that allow people to work. So the very first way you can enter in Italy is for tourism. For tourism, you do not need a real visa. You can stay 90 days in Italy without a lot of problems. I'm talking about the most part of countries. But you can maybe stay here for other reasons. For example, to come to Italy to study. As Simone said before, we have some prestigious companies in some sector. Fashion is one of them. And also in universities, fashion is very attractive for foreign people. And another big university that bring a lot of people from outside is engineering. And by the way, in Turin, where we are based, there is one of the biggest University of Engineering. By the way, the picture you see in background is exactly of Turin. So you can ask a visa for the duration of the course, and of course, if it's usually issued for 1 year, but it's renewable until the end of the course of study. Another reason, just very briefly, to obtain a visa to come in, to Italy is for family reunification, but it means that there is already someone in Italy that has a residence here, and so you can bring his family from abroad to Italy. About work, so it's essential to say immediately, both for dependent work and for autonomous work, and please remember that entrepreneurs for Italian law are considered self-employed, autonomous. There are two fundamental things needed. It's quite strange for some countries, so I underline it because it's very, very peculiar of Italian law. First of all, you need a government decree. It's called the flow decree. And after that, there must be an authorization a priori before coming to Italy. About the flow decree, every year, the government says more or less, this year, this number of people can enter Italy for work. Of this number, X can come for dependent work, and another X can come for self-employed work. But in addition, the government can also decide which countries the workers must come from to enter Italy. For example, if the government in 1 year do not include Russia among the countries that can bring people to Italy, no Russian citizen could get here and could not get a visa. So in this example, the Russians will need to wait for the next flow decree, the next year, to have their chance to have a visa. And of course, I told you that in this decree is established a maximum number of people that can obtain a visa. And when it is reached, no one else can enter Italy. So I know it's a very special aspect. We know that in Athena, and it must not be forgotten. This said, work visas are for subordinate or self-employed work, and they are mostly the same. So first you need to verify the flow degree, and then you, an Italian employer must identify a specific person. He cannot say, I want to hire a Mexican person. No, he must say which person, and obtain what I called the authorization a priori. So before the man or the woman come to Italy, there must already be the authorization. As I told you before, pay attention that being a director of a company is also a condition of self-employment. If you want to come physically to Italy to be a director of a company, you will need a visa. So a couple of very concrete points that usually interest entrepreneurs. First of all, I told you that visas are needed to move to Italy. So if you stay in your country, to be a partner, a shareholder, a director, you do not need a visa because you will stay in your country. You will not work in the Italian Republic. And visas we are talking about are those who allow people to move freely in Italy. Then there is a second point that is very interesting for foreign managers or companies. So if I'm a manager or a highly qualified employee in a company, I can obtain a special visa. These special visas are outside the flow decree. So you don't need to match that number, that list of countries. This is only possible, as I said, for managers and highly qualified employees of foreign companies with branches in Italy. So if I suppose to talk to my friends of TGS members, or maybe someone of their clients, if the foreign company want to send in Italy a manager or a highly qualified employee, it can obtain a special visa for him or for her if in Italy is based a real branch. So something is produced or sold physically in Italy. And in this case, the company can be placed wherever in the world. A second exception to flow decree is a foreign company with only a representative office in Italy. So as you know, we are colleagues. The representative office is something smaller than a branch. It's only an office that do, as it says the name, a representation of the company. So in this case, you can avoid the flow decree, but only if the company that sent you here in Italy is based in a member state of the WTO, the World Trade Organization. The third special case is about managers of companies that have their headquarters in Italy or in EU. Also in this third case, you can avoid legally, of course, the flow decree. And this is, as I told you at the beginning, something related to visas. So you can be a natural person that come to Italy because you want it, or maybe due to work reasons. There are tax advantages to move to Italy, and that's why we started talking about visas. I forgot to say that, of course, this is not concerning EU persons, because into EU we can move and work freely. Visas are necessary for outside EU persons. Well, about tax deductions. Let's assume that a foreign person has finally obtained a visa and he physically moved to Italy. He will be resident in Italy by a civil and a tax point of view. If he or she do that, so obtains the residence in Italy, he may obtain these kind of advantages. We will see in detail figures after. Before figures, please focus on 3 points that must be matched to obtain these deductions. First of all, the person moving in Italy must not have been physically resident in Italy in the 2 tax periods prior the movement. The other one, he undertakes to reside in Italy for at least 2 years. And most important, he must carry out his work mainly in Italy. So if you move to Italy for leisure, you will not have the tax deductions. So you must work in Italy, and we will see after that advantages are only on Italian working income. So which are these advantages? So the person can pay taxes only on 30% of his income. I don't want to bore you, but the maximum tax rate in Italy is 43%. So if you pay taxes in Italy on 30% of your income, it means that you more or less pay 12% of a tax rate. This is really good. And this relief, this facilitation is valid for 5 years, the year you move in Italy and the following 4. This relief applies to both employees, self-employed workers, and entrepreneurs. Be careful about entrepreneurs that dividends and profits received from participation in a company do not benefit from these advantages because they are not considered work. They are considered passive income. So if I come to Italy, I open my company and I have income arising from my work, I will have benefit. If I only if I only take dividends and I do not work for the company, I will not have any advantage. For example, what you get from the managing of the company is something on what you can have the deduction and pay taxes only on 30% of your income. As I told you before, only income produced in Italy is tax exempt. Any other income produced abroad does not benefit from these advantages. And this facility, for example, has been used a lot by sportsmen. A lot of famous sportsmen, maybe everyone in the world knows Cristiano Ronaldo, that moved to Turin to play football. And one of reasons, of course, is this tax deduction. Talking to employer, if he pays less taxes, as you know better than me, you can pay less to give him the same net amount. And what else? As you can see, as you can read, if you move to a southern region of Italy, they are listed here, and maybe in the world, Sicily and Sardinia are the most known, but not the only one. The income is taxed only on 10% of it. And as you can read, I don't want to bore you, you can extend for a further 5-year tax periods if you have at least one minor, or if you buy a real property, or if you have 3 children, you will have this deduction extended. For the presentation, I'd say that's it. Now I can leave the floor to TGS friends again, because I know that there are questions. And so thank you for now.
Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Simone. Giovanni, was great. I really enjoyed the case study about projects on sustainable development, since the full name of TGS is Global Sustainability. So it was great. It was very insightful. So yeah, so now I would like to start the Q&A station with a question in relation to the Italian culture in general, because, like, for example, we already organized this kind of webinar about Thailand and South Korea. And we think that there are many cultural aspects that when you want to do business abroad, you really got to pay attention to cultural differences. So it could be it could be like the language itself, the way to communicate with others. So my question is, I'm a French company. I want to grow my business in Italy. What are the biggest cultural things that I really should take care of while doing business with Italians?
By a company law point of view, and I'm not talking about theoretical things, but very concrete things. First of all, a relationship with banks. The anti-money laundering law is very hard to match. So if you already have a bank account, I'm talking about the company or the director of the company. in a bank in your country that is some way related to an Italian bank, it's so much easier. If you are new, you come here, you say, hello, I'm Alberto, I come from France, and I have no bank accounts. You will stay days, not hours, days, trying to open your bank account. So this is something very out of the civil code thing that I want to tell to everybody. And another thing to know, to be honest, is that English in Italy, English language in Italy is not so common. And so, of course, it can be a little problem. And that's why usually a country manager is something useful. And then there are some bureaucratic problems that is not useful to not consider, because everything is possible. But when we went to Singapore to the last conference, I heard about timing to open a company that is not ours, unluckily. So you must be patient and think that comparing to other countries, you need more time to do everything. So, for example, just open a VAT number for EU company. I know in France you can obtain it in a couple of weeks. In Italy nowadays it's about 6 weeks, and so you must plan it. But I'm sure that those things that Simone explained to all of us, and maybe also what I told in terms of deductions, still, I mean, it's still useful to come to Italy to do business because of the country, because we are a very big market, we spend a lot. And so, and if you produce in Italy, made in Italy is still something very, very valuable. But it's not a problem. I turned your question, I'm sorry.
Yes, great, thank you.
I don't like to think about negative things, so I move to the positive one, but these are the most difficult things you must face at the beginning of penetration in Italy.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Just if I can add a thing, Justine, yeah. I think that the general trend is that we are leaving the traditions in terms of work. So like long work relationships, like I prefer to take my historical commercial partner than an international partner. We are moving where globalization is leading us. So we're increasingly looking for greater efficiency, cultural alternative that can be an added value for my business, a different approach to work. We search for dynamic and flexible partners. So the trend and this idea is already in development. So I think especially when we talk about professionists, as we are, as all the companies in the network, also the English is getting improving, especially with the new resources. As I said before, like the education is providing a high quality education, and there is per student to go abroad for a period to study and to know more cultures, to try to reduce these cultural differences. So I think we are a good moment for this transition, I think.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
If I can add just a very quick thing, is another point to focus is relationship with Italian employee. Labor law is very complicated in Italy. I know that facing to the British one, for example, is totally different. If I'm not wrong, I hope not, because I heard it. In most part of countries, you have one national contract and then, of course, company contracts. In Italy, you can have 100 national contracts, depending of the sector you are working in. So it's something that you must focus before investing in Italy, if you will have employees.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know if someone else has questions among the attendees. Yeah. And
I have one, if I may.
yeah.
Just I have a special love of Italy, and I have a number of clients that are Italian clients, and one of the experience that I've seen is that the Italian tax authorities can be quite strong and difficult. Is that true, or is it just bad luck by my clients?
It's absolutely true. I don't know if Alberto can say a little bit more from a legal part about that.
Yes, it's true, but
Jonathan, I like to give you my idea, by experience. If you have a good tax consultant, you can easily understand what's risk you are taking in declaring what extent to declare. Because the rules, the tax rules are too complicated, and in between there are the rules to interpret it. That's not good, because that provocates lots of illusion in Italy, even certified and assessed by the big companies, and on the other side, the conflicts with the tax authorities. That has been started to change in the latest 10 years, let's say. And progressively, the idea of the tax authorities is to have more adherence, more participation, let's say, in declaring tax. And there are few tools, a few instruments that has been you can adopt as companies. You can also, for instance, you can have the interpello. It's a sort of question you pose to the tax authorities before taking a choice, and they have 90 days to answer you. And that is it's a good instrument, because if you are in doubt of interpreting in a way or the other, you can use the interpello. You can say asking some question to them. That's good. There are some other approach in terms in defining the how can I say sort of negotiating with them. It's also possible, and then it's also possible to have a reference for a specific question you have. In the latest years, we improved a lot, but for instance, in the transfer pricing, we improved a lot, and that's true. We have probably a long way to go, but I don't think that in our system we can be like Switzerland, where you can say, okay, you pay this amount for the year and that's it. Because the structure is different. And there are lots of implications in having a structure like ours, also because of the complexity, compared with Switzerland. Of course, comparing with the Anglo-Saxon companies, there are differences. But there are also more, how can I say, too much bureaucracy, that's true. But also specific rules, that's not difficult to follow.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is going to change, Jonathan, because we need to. And of course, that we need to. You see what the request from the Nordic countries, Europe, is to have less bureaucracy. And one of the main reform, or the main change we have to do, is the public administration. Public administration means rules for buildings and rules for tax.
This particular issue I'm thinking of is one where it was to do with withholding tax on dividends, and the Italian government owes my client something like €2 million. We've won a case in the courts, but they still won't pay because the government says we're just not paying, and it's very difficult. But when you're dealing with a government, but I suppose in many countries you can have that sort of problem. It's just interesting because the stories I hear are that the Italian tax authorities can be, if they can be very good, they can be very clever, they can also be very difficult at times, and just but I suppose that's the same everywhere in the world at times.
I don't know, that's definitely true, Jonathan. The parts of our culture is still from Borbonic. I mean, the central state, very tough with people, no discussion, that's the rule, and the rule is overall. That is changing. We know that we have to, because otherwise people is not willing, Italian people is not willing to pay that level of taxes, because there are part of the people that are not paying nothing. That's one of the big issues we have. When we are facing with part of the countries that are not paying, just they are not paying because they, for thousands of reasons, the tax rate of the others isn't unsustainable. That has to change. We are talking, but that's a political situation. Now, after the pandemic shock, I hope, as all the other people in the world, that something changed for good. But it's a good discussion with you, Jonathan. It's a good discussion, and you got the point.
Thank you for your answers. Appreciate it.
Right, it's just a point of view.
Thank you, Gabe, for intervention. So it's already 4 p.m. I don't know if someone has other questions. Maybe Andrew, you would like to add something, or Simone, Alberto, to say something before ending this webinar.
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank you, everybody, for turning up. Thank you very much, Simone, Alberto, Giovanni, for your presentations. And I think the end result there, you match up with Alberto and Giovanni, that you need someone who speaks Italian to negotiate with the tax authorities, because we're not going to do it with our high school Italian, I guess. The thing. And Justine, I have to thank you as well, and Marine, for setting these doing business in webinars up. They're fantastic. And also we'll be sharing the recording and sharing the slides and sharing all your potential expertise and the stories which come out of this over the next few days and weeks. So thank you very much, everybody, for turning up.
Thank you.
Ian, nice to see you from Glasgow. Thank you very much for coming to join us.
Bye.
Thanks for all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Bye,
Thank you.
Andrew. Bye, Jonathan.
Thank you very much.
Au revoir. Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao.
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 Ciao.